Hey everybody, and welcome to a Teacher's Wonderland YouTube channel. My name is Ronnie, and make sure you are hitting that like button, that subscribe button, and hit that bell button so you can be notified every time that we have a new video coming right out. I don't think I'm excited to talk about this one. I'm just not a fan of it. Not a fan of it. We're going to be talking about bugs. Yay. This book was actually really cool. I will tell you that. The author, Crystal Monique Tony, did a great job with this book. The photographs are fantastic. I will tell you that. I just don't like bugs. Thank God it wasn't snakes because it was not going to work. But I'm not a bug fan. So we're going to talk about this is a picture book highlight video, which means that we are going to talk about all the pieces of the picture book for you that you can use in your classroom immediately. Okay, I have my lesson plans right here. Of course, I forgot. That's moth versus butterfly. My bad. Hang on. And of course, I can't find I have like a little book talk that I like to use, but I don't have this one on me. That's okay. Okay, so because all of the lessons are actually right in here. So I'm just going to use my lesson plans. Okay, so the first thing that I like to start off with this book is to understand and teach my students all about the author. You can Google her, you can look on Amazon and explain who she is and why she came up with this book. The book was actually kind of interesting as to why she came up with it and why she got into bugs. So I would definitely recommend giving it a glance. The categories that I use, the skills and strategies that I use in my class for this book is classify and categorize, which is actually what I'm going to use for today. And I also like to use compare and contrast. We do an anchor chart. Whoa, there we go. Like this. That is classify and categorize. And when you classify, you just kind of explain like what we classify and then when we categorize. And I just explain it to my students. We'll put this up on the bulletin board. We'll put this in their notebook and they'll have all different places for this. There is no theme in it, mainly because it's a nonfiction book. So there's no literacy theme that goes with it. There's a lot of vocabulary, so I found the ones that I felt were the best for my class, and that would be best for kids across the country. Exoskeleton, arachnids, anatomy, arthropods, oxygen, and metamorphosis. Those are pretty much the only ones that I felt were really strong that kind of went with it. The settings take place really outdoors, a tree and a flower, and some grammar ideas that you can use for your classroom is being able to identify keywords from the text. So pulling those important words out. By the end of the lesson, the students should be able to classify and categorize using the text, the bug book, the fascinating bug book. Some SEL components that I like to do, and I'm just going to read it straight for you guys. Sometimes this book may make us feel a little uncomfortable, and that's okay. Bugs and insects often cause confusion or disgust with us. Create a list of how we can handle those super strong feelings about bugs and insects. And an idea that you can use for your classroom for cross-curricular if you decide you want to go through different subjects while teaching this using this particular book. Obviously, your math centers can be based around bugs and insects and things like that. They can create their own homes for bees and butterflies. I also love showing them different versions of homes that they can create for the home or for the bees or butterflies. You can find those on Amazon, and they can bring in wood chips and make their own little home. It's really cute. I love watching that. So I know you guys are going to ask me some extension ideas that they can use. And some extension ideas that we use in our classroom would be creating a poster explaining the different types of bugs and how they can be classified. Again, it goes back to classify and categorize, which is what we want them to do. They can create a commercial, and they can create something for the insects or the bugs of their choice. And they are going to create a commercial to show off their awesome product for their bugs. I had one kid make beds for bugs. Bed bugs, get it? I also had a bug collage, or we can also create a bug collage, and they can show off who they are as a bug, right? For example, maybe you connect with the butterfly because you started off nervous in the beginning of the school year, and now you come out of your cocoon and you're a new person. I know, it's that cute. All right, some activities that you can do, and I'm gonna show you. And these would be the ones that I give into my students' workbooks, but I'm gonna show you guys. So you can do a fascinating bugs compare and contrast. The students can find the author's purpose, like why are we writing this book? Why did the author want to write this book? And what's the purpose of this book? What was their goal? I also love to do this concept mapping with them. And I do have another video about concept mapping if you aren't aware of what concept mapping is. And so pretty much the kids start off here where they say, here's our ideas about the bugs. We talk about the body, and we can just kind of give little ideas about it. We go and talk about the life cycle. We talk about their anatomy, their wings, and maybe even their breathing. And then if the kids have another one, they can put it right there. You can also have the students identify the main idea of the textbook. And of course, we talk about our vocabulary. So here's our awesome vocab. And in their vocab, they have the definition. Where we go? There we go. We have an example, we have a doodle, and we have an ask and answer. So I have them write a question, possibly for me. They can write a question for the author, whatever you guys kind of want. Another thing I'll do at the beginning of the unit before we actually get into anything, because kids like to talk a lot. And so with that, I like to kind of get their breathing, or to get their wiggles and their knowledge out of their head. Give them a KWO chart. Smart, right? You can have them say, okay, tell me everything you know about bugs and insects. Oh, you like this specific bug? Tell me everything. Why not? Another thing I'll do is I will actually have them work on a summary, and they can work through and understand the summary, or they can just write it out. For your centers for the week, you can do these cute little vocab cards, and I'll have them draw a picture here, and then they actually write the definition here. And then throughout the week, they have to go and do it every day. I do have 3 different writing tasks for my students that they will do throughout the entire week, and I will read them to you. I will have them explain the life cycles of butterflies. I will have them describe the difference between the bugs and insects that we've read about. And for activity number 3, I will have them write an informative piece about the insects and bugs that you have read about. So some of the things, I'm going to go to the page. So this actual lesson plans are kind of weird for me because there's so much information that when I created these lesson plans, I actually needed to write them not as questions, but kind of like this, which is for me weird. They had to, some of them had to like be big. So what I like to do, so remember that concept mapping? Here's where I find it. And I allow my kids to work through it as I'm reading it. Flying. Exoskeletons, right? So it kind of, it helps them understand it as they're reading through the actual text. And then sometimes I will have them do a reading response question. And some of my reading response questions that I did were, hang on, my pile's a mess. Just like us, bugs need to breathe. How are the bugs classified with their breathing? So you would have a different version. What does the word pupa mean? How do you know? On page 70 and 71, do you notice something about the life cycle of bugs? How can you classify these types of bugs? So I actually will cut those up and put those kind of like this. You know, this isn't the right book, but this is what they would look like, and then they glue them into the notebook. So that's how I use that one particular book when I am talking about classifying and categorizing the text. Now, this anchor chart will remain up all year until we have our state testing. So once I teach this, it's in the same spot and it does not move. I make the cute little doodles, and that's it. Hopefully, I know this was like a super quick video. Normally mine are about 12 to 15 minutes. So hopefully you're able to grab some awesome information. I think I just don't like bugs because I don't need to teach about it anymore. If you have a book that you like to use for classify and categorize, make sure you type it in the comments below so that way I can probably add it to my repertoire. Bye, guys.